I don't. We can't even count down right anymore. What? Like, why? Like, think for you. Welcome back to the nosebleed section. I'm your host as always, Joe, and I'm already hot. Like, we're gonna get into this, man. Like, oh my gosh, we got a lot of NFL rumors to address today. I don't want to introduce you. I don't want to introduce you today. Like, like already, like, no salute, no salutes up. Yo, this man's got me hot. Like, what are
Joe
we
missed
talking
me. Joe missed me
about?
with the hot spicy Cheetos.
I'm telling you, I'm about to turn your key card off. You have no entry to this place, bro. No access. I'm over. I'm already sick of this. Oh my gosh. Welcome back to the nosebleed section. We have a special NFL rumors podcast to get to. We're gonna try to get through this without killing each other. I'm your host as always, Joe. I'm joined by the casual NFL rumor starter, Jay. What's going on? And
I don't even have to start today. Y'all are ready. It's on 12. I'm just out here trying not to get fined.
and like and
I'm out
Paul,
here trying not to get Patrick Mahomes, but like y'all already coming in hot right now. God
this is
damn.
this is crazy. Paul's joined us back on the nosebleed section. I turned his key card back on. What's up, Paul?
It's the reason why the mic is hot red.
Oh my gosh, man. This guy's something else. All right. So as the NFL season, boils down to a close, we got a lot of rumors coming out, people getting fired left and right. Obviously, I could have did a better job than Brandon Staley on this last game as the Chargers head coach. But Brandon Staley got fired. Tom Telesco, the GM. We got a lot of stuff to get through. A lot of stuff that we're going to talk about in these next. I don't know how long we're going to be here, but let's start off the top. What we were just talking about before we got on here is the future of Zach Wilson. Now, Jay, I know you brought up this rumor of Zach Wilson and Rob Saleh already talking about potentially trading Zach. So, what is explain and elaborate on that situation?
I don't remember who it was. I think it was Rich Cimini, which, any Jets fan knows you take it with a grain of salt, regardless. But prior to once Zach Wilson was benched for what's his name? Tim whatever.
Boyle.
Tim Boyle, that's his name. I was about to call him Tim Floyd. I don't know. Whatever this man's name is. Him and Zach and Saleh had a conversation where Saleh essentially told Zach that it was likely that he'd be traded this offseason, that he would be with the Jets come next year. Which was why, Aaron Rodgers was so apologetic on Pat McAfee and why he was so frustrated with the fact that he was hurt because he understood that Zach was put in an impossible situation. And due to...
Sorry, the Bengals came back. It's 17-17 now.
And essentially that Aaron Rodgers felt responsible that Zach Wilson was in the situation that he was in and seeming like he was going to be traded and he wasn't going to be with the team when Aaron wanted to come so that Zach Wilson would have at least a lifeline. But due to his injury, Zach Wilson had to play and kind of work through all of his kinks. So essentially that was the rumor, was that Zach Wilson and Robert Saleh had mutually agreed that Zach Wilson would be traded this offseason. Saleh didn't deny the rumor. He essentially said, that's not me. You would have to talk to Joe about that. Which is what he does when things are relatively true. But it's, again, he doesn't have any control over who gets traded, who doesn't. It's the GM's job. But essentially, there was some credence to the rumor. Zach Wilson, I believe his fifth-year option is worth a guaranteed $23 million due to his draft status. So that kind of plays into everything. With his recent good game, if he continues, then I assume his market would be decent. I did read something that there is some buzz that there is a trade market for Zach Wilson. I can't imagine it's anything larger than a fifth-round pick, but with the Jets' lack of draft assets, like I would assume they would take whatever assets are there, like they did with Elijah Moore, like they did with Michael Carter. So that's kind of where those rumors stand at this point. I'm gonna let y'all go off.
Now we turn to Paul here, and Paul has a very interesting take on the future of Zach Wilson, and I will let you. You go ahead. You tell us what you think about Zach Wilson's future and where he could potentially go.
If everything depends on him being consistent for the rest of the season, for the last 3 or 4 games he has left in the season, that is the biggest thing that has to go through. So if he remains consistent, doesn't have to have another 300-yard game is great. As long as he's playing good football like he did this past weekend, he could probably go places. But the one place we have to look at is Minnesota, because Kirk Cousins tore his ACL. He's done. He's not even coming back next year. And
his Achilles, not ACL, but
sorry, his Achilles. He had tore his Achilles. He signed only a 1-year fully guaranteed contract. Joe, I think you said it, or was it Jay? Minnesota wants to keep him and re-sign him. But here's the thing: how much can you re-sign a quarterback that tore his Achilles? He's not going to play for you for the whole year. How much are you going to pay him? $20 million to sit
at
on the
this
bench
point,
rehab?
I can tell you the truth. At this point, no disrespect, Joe, Daniel Jones' contract is going great for a starting quarterback. Daniel Jones proved that the Giants essentially set the market at that. Lowest possible starting quarterback is $40 million a year. That's just what it is. That's just the market. Yeah. Unless again they're coming off a rookie deal and you can do that 5th-year option. But essentially any starting caliber quarterback, you're going to pay them $40 million a year. That's just how it is.
Now, my thing is, if you're going to take Zach Wilson over Nick Mullins or Josh Dobbs, that's my thing. Because teams have traded for both Nick Mullins and Josh Dobbs. Ain't nobody trading for Zach Wilson. Especially not unless the Jets deal, $23 million deal he about to get. Who's paying Zach Wilson $23 million?
Unless the Jets do what the Packers did with Aaron, where they pay a portion of that. I can't imagine they would want to do that. I can't imagine they would want to still have that money on the books. I can't imagine they want to trade him that badly that they would pay some of his money. My argument to this whole thing is that Minnesota's sitting essentially middle of the first round, where there is going to be, unless I can't imagine there would be a high run on quarterbacks this year. Like there's going to be 5 or 6 possibly that can go in the first round, but I can't see that run coming at the top. So there will be a JJ McCarthy, there will be a Bo Nix, there will be a Michael Penix, there will be a God, who's the next guy?
So here's the thing. All right, so how many quarterbacks would you say are first round worthy?
They're quarterbacks. So
right, but you have quarterbacks say like that guy's first rounder. This guy is a second rounder, maybe a second day.
I mean, it depends on what you're looking for, but I would say a solid 4.
Okay. All right, I'm looking at the draft order right now. Let's share that screen real quick so we can all look at it together.
Please do. I want to know where the math is.
Yeah, I want to know.
I'm not even trying to be mean. I want to see the math. Like I need to see
because
where's the math in this argument.
This is what I'm looking at right now. What I'm pulling up is before we talked about this. You said that you had Baker Mayfield. You talk about the Bucs as a destination for Zach Wilson
as well. Yes.
Right now, Baker Mayfield's thrown for 3,000 yards passing, 20 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions.
What did he do last game? How many yards?
How many yards? You talking about one game?
Yeah, nobody's really gonna.
Wait.
Game basis.
Wait.
You just
wait. Okay.
You want Zach Wilson stats?
Hold on, because
is that what you want?
It wasn't just his last game that he had 179. 173, 146, 199, 144. Like he's not consistent. There's a reason why he's been in Cleveland, over the 202, the
Carolina, 246, the 278, the 265, the 233.
He did that in Cleveland. He did that in Carolina. He did that everywhere. Why did he stay? And that's what I'm telling you, because I'm hearing what's going on here. That's why I said the numbers may look pretty. That's why I always say stats is not everything. That's why I also said Kirk Cousins is not the real deal, because a lot of the times in those games.
But
yeah,
but
I'm also going
not consistent.
He's
That's
not
why he got
consistent.
benched by Tim Boyle.
I'm not disagreeing, but I'm saying places where you can go, because a lot of times if you go from one place to another place, sometimes it's that place where you were at that just didn't work for you. You go somewhere else and it works.
You're thinking so you would take Zach Wilson over Baker Mayfield on the Bucs right now.
I was never a fan of Baker Mayfield. I've always said that.
Answer the question.
I would give him a shot.
Would you start Zach Wilson over Baker Mayfield right now on the Bucs?
Yeah.
And do you think their season will be better right now? The fact you have to think about this is insane for me.
There's a lot to go through, because you have to look at the line. It'd probably be the same, if not just under Baker's.
I think Calvin.
The reason being. No, it's not. No,
I heard somebody joined. Okay, never mind.
No. The only reason that Baker has a better performance than him is because Baker is better at running, and a better mobile quarterback than Zach. Can we all agree on that?
No.
You don't think so? Okay.
No, not at all. Not even a
Nick
little.
Mullins also just threw a touchdown pass, in case you wanted to know.
That's fine. I'm just saying locations where Baker Mayfield can get a second chance is what I'm saying.
I think there's a better shot that Baker Mayfield would go to Minnesota and ball out than Zach Wilson going to Minnesota and balling out.
Yeah, because the thing is, Minnesota has a question at quarterback that we don't know what's going to happen, because Josh Dobbs is a 1-year contract, as you see right here.
Again, and then they have the 20th overall pick, which is my big thing.
No,
I think that they take a quarterback at 20.
That's fine. You have 22. That's fine. Yo.
But then, okay, so we look at it here. Is New England taking a quarterback? Because
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Arizona.
No. Why are you skipping Chicago?
No.
Why are you skipping Chicago?
Arizona has Kyler Murray, and he's
because we know Chicago's taking a quarterback. That's hands down.
Okay, so that's 2 quarterbacks going, right? That's 2 quarterbacks going.
That's 2, right? Washington's not taking it, because we had conversations. They want to see what they have in Sam Howell, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Chargers not taking one.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Are the Jets taking one?
No, not that early. No. The Jets are going to try to shore up their offensive line.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to protect Aaron, because you saw what happened.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have Aaron coming back. So
we know the Giants. We know the Giants and the Titans are not taking quarterbacks.
Right.
I wouldn't doubt. Well, listen, the Giants. We're a wild card. We're a wild card.
That is a wild card.
That is a part. That's part of the equation here. If you're sitting here, if the Giants are sitting here, if we somehow either lose out and we get back to the top 4 or 5, or we're at 8 somehow, if Jaden Daniels is sitting there, I'm not gonna put anything past us, because Daniel Jones is not the answer. I think we've all seen that. Tommy DeVito has come in and revitalized the entire organization and fan base. And honestly, if Daniel Jones was starting, I don't think we'd be winning these games. I said this earlier to a couple other people. The issue really is with Daniel Jones not being the guy is Daniel Jones is not decisive. And sometimes you need a guy who's just decisive. Throw the ball. But he's too indecisive because he's too scared to make a mistake, and that is going to be his career ender. He's going to go somewhere after this. I think after next year, we're going to cut him. He's going to go somewhere and be a career backup for a little bit and then be done. And that's going to be it. I'm not saying DeVito's our franchise guy by a long shot.
No.
But I think if the
I don't think y'all take one in the first round.
Huh?
If y'all take somebody, I don't think y'all take somebody in the first round.
If we take somebody, it depends. I think if Jaden's sitting there wherever we are, if Jaden's on the board, I think we're going to take him. Because I think you have to bring somebody else in. The fan base is screaming for it. Yeah. And I mean, Daniel's just not the guy. Like, and he's not a Dable Shane person. Like, every GM head coach gets their chance to pick their guy. We were thrown into having Dable Shane were thrown into having Daniel Jones, which they shouldn't have had anyway, because we shouldn't have never drafted him, especially at 6. So he was thrown into having that guy. They didn't get a chance. So until they get their fair shake of getting their guy and succeeding or failing with their guy, then they shouldn't be fired. Like, you're going to build around what you have, cool. But you were almost backed into this shit by Mara.
Yeah.
So until we get our guy, now if we're sitting here at 6, yes, we know Caleb is gone. Shane's been at every USC game this year. And Shane was at every UNC game he could be at. So he was scouting those two. He wasn't himself present at LSU games, but he had heavy scouts at LSU games. That's because of Jaden and because of everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're talking about you're sitting here at pick 5, pick 6, and the Heisman winning quarterback is sitting on the board, having thrown 4,000 yards.
If we're talking pick 5,
rushing,
pick 6, if we're talking pick 5, pick 6, I could see it.
Yes.
If we're talking about 8, 9, 10, I don't know if he's there by that point.
I don't think he'll be there either.
Somebody else will trade up for him.
Mm-hmm.
But 2, I also don't know if you guys can afford to pass on the receivers that are there.
Or the linemen.
To me, in the top 10, you got 2. To me, you have 2 for sure receivers out of there. You're gonna have Marv, and you're gonna have Malik. You're gonna go top 10 for sure. And then you're going to have your wild card. If somebody's going to fall in love with Keon and somebody's going to fall in love with Rome, do they go top 10? I don't know.
I think top 15. I think top 10.
Top 15, I'm pretty sure both of them are top 20 to top 15 locks.
Well, I've heard a lot of things about Keon recently that may, when teams really sit down and look at the film, they may sour on Keon quite a bit,
which might cause him to fall.
Yes.
And then you say O-line. You say O-line. Your only two linemen that are going top 10 are Olu and Alt. Am I wrong?
That are locks to go top 10. Yes.
That are locks. To go top 10.
I can't really say if those are the only 2, but those are the only 2 I can look at for sure that are going to go top.
Who's your third? Fuaga?
I think depending on where you look at, I think JC could move up depending on how he tests.
He's supposed to go top 10?
I think JC can move up. I've been seeing JC a lot.
I don't see the Giants taking a lineman. I just don't see. I mean, look.
I don't see the Giants taking a lineman. I see the Giants taking. I think Malik Nabels will be there though.
I think he'll be there. If we're at 8, maybe.
That's what I'm like.
We have to remember though.
Play for that.
We have to remember it all depends on what the GM and the coach see as their highest needs and what's available on the draft board. Because how many times have you guys looked at things like? And I'm not saying you guys are doing a bad job. I'm saying you guys have looked all the bowl games. You guys look at all these prospects, and you guys say, like, say, Joe, say for your Giants, you said, well, I think it was last year before, you guys wanted a lineman first because they needed to build that line, and they got something else that I think you said they could have waited till a later round and gotten at least not the same quality player, but a decent quality player to fill in that spot. But you needed the lineman first more than anything else.
I mean,
you know what I mean? And then we got lucky one year with all, we hit off in the first round, but there were other times, Jay, I remember you saying too, we needed this position, that position more than another one, and just the same thing, they did something else.
Right.
It's tough because
when we took Will McDonald essentially.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough
everybody
because
is still like, what the okay.
Like, I mean, yeah, I didn't see that one coming at all. But I mean, he's been solid. But I mean, like, yeah, I guess. All right. Well, we were banging the table for a lineman, but for me to sit up here and you pull JMS in the second round, the top rated interior lineman in the draft, debatably, him and Tippmann were 1-2. But like, you sit up here and you pull JMS in the second, I can't be mad at that. Like, he wasn't supposed to be there, in my opinion. But Jay Freeze? Yeah, Jay definitely froze. But like,
so the Giants are a question mark. Leave the Giants a question mark. So that's 2 with a possible 3, right? For quarterbacks. All right. Tennessee doesn't need one because we know they got Levis and he's working out for them. Vegas.
Yes, but I think they can wait because I think O'Connell's played very well.
Mm-hmm.
Add Jay back.
I got it.
Yeah. I think, oh my gosh, the inception.
Sorry.
I think So we were saying the Raiders, Jay, but I think the Raiders can wait. If O'Connell's going to play like this,
I don't think
you
the
think the
Raiders.
Raiders take a quarterback?
I think the Raiders take a quarterback. I think if you guys don't take Jaden Daniels, he's a Raider, unless someone trades up.
Now,
True.
Okay. Now, if Jaden's gone, then where do you go? Because if you're the Raiders at what pick are they? 10?
10.
Mm-hmm.
If you take at 10, who are you taking? Are you taking Bo or Penix at 10?
I think they can't
Or
afford
JJ?
I think from what I hear about what JJ is like, the rumors I keep hearing is that JJ has the intangibles that NFL teams usually love, and the Raiders have that type of persona right now where they have a really good running game, they have a decent offensive line, they can afford to put a rookie quarterback back there and let them.
Oh my God, not again.
My bad. Sorry.
They can afford to allow a young quarterback to get back there and get better. So I think JJ could be in play. I do. I think JJ could play there. Yes.
Oh my God, and that's another rule we have to talk about because like the Raiders quarterback situation. Because look, Aiden O'Connell has come in and played well, and I mean he's a rookie draft pick last year, so it comes down like, do you?
He's also a 6th round draft pick.
Is JJ? He is a 6th round. Right? Tom Brady was too. Does JJ come in? Does JJ come in and is he an immediate upgrade from Aiden O'Connell just from what you see? And now take into account he plays for Michigan. But is JJ McCarthy that much of an upgrade?
I think you have to kind of let JJ go through the process. I can't speak on it right now. Do I think JJ has a higher upside than Aiden O'Connell? Yes.
Yeah, I will agree.
But do I think he's a better quarterback right now? No, because Aiden has NFL reps. That being said, the Raiders can't look at next year. When are the Raiders going to be in a situation where they can take a franchise quarterback?
I mean, they've had multiple stabs at it. I mean, just like what was that, a couple of years ago, and they were at 4. They took Cleveland Farrell. Like,
again, how often are you going to be in a class such as this? Are you going to have that shot again?
I mean, the Raiders have been drafting, I want to say, in the top 10 for the better part of 10 years. How many stabs? How many stabs do you need? Like,
but again, do you want to bank on that though? Do you want to bank on that? And again, this is one of the better quarterback classes that we've had in a couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, but my thing is you can't force it. You can't force the need. Like, you can't force it. Like, if you're at 10 and you're telling me that Caleb, Drake, and Jaden are gone by 10, and you're sitting on the board and you're staring at Bo Nix, JJ McCarthy, and Michael Penix, you're telling me you're taking JJ, but also 2, you're telling me you're telling me the Raiders must really love JJ McCarthy to take him at 10.
I think that I'm not saying that it's an automatic like they're going to do it. I'm saying there is definitely a possibility, more likely than not, that if a quarterback that they like is at 10, they would take him.
That also leads to my other point is, and the point in general is, who's going to be their head coach? Because
that is the question. That is also a huge part of it.
Factor.
That's
because as much as Antonio Pierce is doing his thing right now, is that Antonio Pierce probably is not going to be hired as the full-time head coach.
No,
I would think not.
It'd be interesting.
As much as I think he's doing a great job.
Even though I do think, so it's like, I've heard some rumors that there may be a road, and I hate to say it, for what's his face to have a second tenure with the Raiders. John Gruden.
Really?
I think third tenure? John Gruden's name is under consideration for possibly
3.0.
Yeah.
John Gruden. I have not heard that one.
That was one I saw recently. So I don't know. But I think it's more likely than not. I think you look at 10 and 11. The reason why I say 10 and 11, because as much as I think they would trade, like I think Atlanta should trade for Justin Fields, depending on who's there at that point, I think Atlanta could take a stab at quarterback as well.
So wait,
because I think
wait. So you're saying Desmond Ridder is not the answer for the Falcons then?
My thing is, I'm not even gonna let you do your staring thing. My thing is,
I can't look at camera because if I look at what you're doing, I'm like, we're getting this.
He's staring at you like, did you really just ask me that question? So my thing is,
you have to remember, like they
I don't have to remember anything.
Was it a first round pick that they got for him? If they
used
him?
No.
Desmond was like a fourth round pick.
Yeah, okay. It's like a third, fourth round pick on Desmond Ridder. They didn't take him in the first.
No.
Okay.
My thing is with the Falcons, I want to see what you're gonna do if you do trade for Justin.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I could potentially see the Falcons doing is sending maybe Tyler Heineke there, or sending Ridder there, not as a starter, as a backup. Because if you're the Falcons, again, you have Ridder, you have Heineke. Now, if you trade for Justin Fields, now you have 3 QBs, and not most teams rock 3 QBs. And you just gave Heineke a decent enough deal. You still have Ridder.
I think they would cut Desmond Ridder.
I don't think they would. I don't think you would just cut him because he's like a third, fourth round pick.
Well, I think you can definitely trade him.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. Who would you trade him? That's what I'm saying. Like, what would be the future of Desmond Ridder at that point?
Yeah.
Like, if you trade for Justin, like, that's what I'm saying. You either send him to the Bears or send him somewhere else. But then you look at the Bears, and the Bears don't have a veteran QB because now if they go get Caleb, like everybody's expecting to go get Caleb or Drake, you have him. You have Tyson Bagent, who was an undrafted rookie who balled out in his time, but then you have 2 young kids and you have no veteran there. Like,
well, what I think will happen is they'll bring in a veteran, they'll let the 2 other guys compete, and whoever loses will probably get cut.
Well, you can't. Who on what team?
On the Bears. I think
you can't have competition. You can't.
Why can't you?
Because if you're the Bears and you take Caleb Williams, there's no competition.
No, I'm talking about for that third quarterback, at least for that practice squad quarterback.
Oh, for the practice squad quarterback.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you have a competition between you have the undrafted guy, you have Desmond Ridder, you have the competition for whoever the backup quarterback is. Well, no, then you bring in a veteran. So the veteran would automatically be the backup. And then those other 2 guys just duke it out to see who's going to be on the team.
Between Desmond and the other guy.
And the undrafted kid, yeah. And you have that happen.
That's if they get an undrafted kid. That's if they get somebody.
No, they do have an undrafted kid.
They have that's Justin Fields' backup right now.
Yeah. He's
that kid.
Yeah, who came in and balled. Like, he balled when Justin Fields was down. So that's my thing. It's like, if you go and you trade Justin to the Falcons, he's over there with Bijan and Kyle Pitts. He's in a decent fit. You're the Bears now. Now you have Caleb. You draft Caleb. You have Tyson Bagent. Now, if you were to trade and you send Desmond Ridder over, that's 3. Now, if you don't view Desmond Ridder as a veteran quarterback, you're signing a veteran quarterback. So now you have 4. You're not rocking 4. So my thing is, Caleb is probably the day 1 starter. Bagent has earned the right to be in the mix or a backup or something. You're not cutting him after he led the Bears to 2 or 3 wins without Justin Fields. You're not just cutting him.
So again, you have the competition for the backup. Like, the veteran is gonna stay regardless.
It depends on it.
But you have the competition for backup.
So
here's my thing, though.
You have Bagent versus this backup.
You would have Bagent, the veteran, and Ridder all compete for the backup job. Because the veteran's gonna stay regardless because you need him in the room.
Yeah, but here's
that
the
doesn't
thing,
mean he has to be listed as a backup.
Here's the thing: is like, are they able to find what they would consider a good backup veteran to have in that room? Because how many times have we seen teams draft a quarterback and then there's no veteran presence that has, like, say for example, like you draft a quarterback, you have a veteran quarterback that has started, so they know what it takes to start the game. That's what you want. You don't want a veteran quarterback that's been just a backup his entire career because there's not much insight he can give a rookie.
I mean, truth be told, honestly, what you could do, depending on what you wanted to do as like Arthur Smith, is you could, instead of sending Desmond Ridder, you would just send Taylor Heineke. I don't know if they want to do that, but
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's my only thing. I mean, I guess you're going to go the young approach because then you'll have, like you said, you'll have Fields and Ritter. So
Yeah.
I mean that would work. But then, like I guess when you have the Bears, you would have Caleb, Heineke, and Badger, and that'd be it.
Yeah.
Like that'd be your three. Honestly, what's Heineke's deal? Is he on a multi-year deal or a 1 year?
2 year.
2 year for Heineke.
It's right here on the screen.
But I can't say that much. It's too small. But it's like
Okay.
2 years, like it's like 2 years 18, 2 years something.
You got a 2 year 14.
14. Okay, I remember it was something in the teens. I can't remember what it was. But I mean,
so it's not bad. If they trade Heineke, he's after June 1st, he's only $2 million on the on dead money, and they save $7 million.
That's not bad at all.
But that's post June. I'm saying that this will probably happen before.
Still the same,
or at the draft at least.
Yeah, it'll be the same. Doesn't change. That number doesn't change at all.
I just want to see. I'm just interested, man. I want to see, like, again. It goes back to we got really off topic. This is our first topic we're going to be talking about. But like it goes back to Zach Wilson. Like, what do you? Again, do you see Zach Wilson being better than any of these people we just talked about, or just fitting better? Like
I'm going with available spots, like openings that I see where he can have a chance. You know what I'm saying?
I don't
because like I said, like
team in the NFL that he has a chance to start on.
Tampa Bay is not, from what I'm hearing around here, they're not really too excited about Baker Mayfield, regardless of the record, regardless of what you're seeing. Like I'm not disagreeing with you. See, it's just what I'm hearing. They're not really.
I think depending on the price, Tampa Bay does make some sense because at least he'll have. I think he'll have more well-rounded receiver play, and he'll have a better offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
But
I wouldn't trade for him. Tell you that much.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing too.
Todd Bowles.
Here's the thing. Todd Bowles' job might be in danger in Tampa Bay as well.
I mean, it's tough how quick it could turn because yes, his job on one hand is in danger, and on the other hand, you're in first place in your division. So what else could you want? Like you're 6-7, you're tied for a 3-way tie for first place, but you've managed to keep your team in the playoff hunt at 6-7. Yes, they're not above 500, but so it's like a double-edged sword. It's like, hey, we can fire you, but you're on the verge of making the playoffs. If you make the playoffs, can we really fire you after this year?
Like, yeah, I mean, how many coaches? There have been coaches been fired even though the teams make the playoffs. It's nothing new. Yeah,
wait, who's in their division?
Carolina, New Orleans, and Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah, those are all three of those teams are 6-7, and then the Panthers are 1-11. So like,
so I mean, it's wild to say, but I think if it's a situation where like if they make the playoffs, do I think that they make a change? I don't.
So here's the thing: if they make the playoffs, I'm gonna say this: if they make the playoffs, depending on their exit, if they come close to winning, or if they win, Bowles is fine. If they get routed, I think he is gone.
That's fair.
He's got 4 more weeks to see what he can do. I mean, and then look, if they brought in Zach Wilson, you're still sitting there talking about he's gonna to my opinion, he's battling for number 2 with Kyle Trask. Like,
yeah.
Well, that's fair. But the other thing too is that if Todd Bowles is gone, right? Who's coming in?
That's another rumor. That's something else you got to think about. And again,
yeah,
like you said, it all depends. If they make the playoffs, I think he's good. He's going to get another year. But if they don't make the playoffs, then he's probably might be done. But
yeah, again, and I'm going. I agree with you, but I'm only adding to that one if the Bucks get routed in that first round, in that first game in the playoffs, I think he's gone. Even if they make the playoffs, just because they got routed, I think he'll be gone.
Well, I'll go back to what our original situation was. If you look at the way the draft board is set, the reason why I say this is not likely, because Zach Wilson's 5th-year option is $23 million.
Right.
I'm hard-pressed to see a lot of teams that are going to look at Zach Wilson as a starter. Right? That's my biggest thing.
Here's a cap space. So the teams that we looked at already briefly, the Cardinals have the cap space, but they're drafting a quarterback. The Bears have the cap space. They're also drafting a quarterback. The Lions don't need one. The Raiders, question mark, what they're going to do. The Bucks is another question mark right there. The Rams, I think Stafford said he's done after this year.
I've not heard that.
I haven't heard that one.
Anything about that.
Okay, so if Stafford stays, they're good. If he's done, they need to figure it out.
Where's the Rams pick?
Yeah, Zach Wilson's not going to the Rams, bro.
No. I'm not saying. I'm just going over expectations, bro.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. That's not even a conversation.
What's the Rams pick?
14 right now.
Yo,
Here's what I'm saying.
but again,
You know who the
another
offensive
team.
coordinator is, right?
No.
Mike. He's not going to the Raiders. He's not going to the Rams, bro. He's not going to the Rams.
Panthers are not going to get him because they have
They have their quarterback.
They have their quarterback. Vikings is the one that we've been discussing the most because of the whole situation with Kirk Cousins and everybody else.
I think at the end of the day, even if they keep Kirk Cousins, they're going to want to reset their quarterback clock. So I think a situation where, say for example, if Michael Penix, his medicals don't come back as fantastic as everybody hopes they do, he's probably not going to be a guy that you're going to look at in the top 10 anyway, possibly the top 15. But Bo Nix possibly should be in the mix for the mid-20s. And I'm sure somebody else is going to pop. Especially after the senior games, somebody else is going to pop. Because, and let's stop acting like people don't overdraft quarterbacks here. Like, come on.
Once
people
the run happens,
quarterbacks
everybody jumps on it. So once the run happens, everybody jumps on it.
And that's my point. The run is going to be early, and somebody's going to take the third guy. Where the third guy goes is very indicative on who does what, because I could also see the Vikings being aggressive and trading up to go and get a guy like McCarthy.
Well, the third guy to me is Jaden. So I mean, you're talking about Jaden is the fourth in my opinion.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest,
Jaden would be the third.
Jaden's not even
right?
my fourth. Personally, he's not my fourth. But
right, but Jaden, let's say due to the Heisman, I would put Jaden as the third as it stands. Right. The question is, out of the next three guys, who's 3, 4, 5? We don't know yet.
Or who's 4, 5, 6?
4, 5, 6. Excuse me, my bad. 4, 5, 6. Right.
Per PFF, there's the 5: Caleb, Drake, Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, and then Michael Penix Jr. Number 6, they have Shedeur Sanders,
who's not coming out this year.
Who's not coming out? Then they got Carson Beck from Georgia, and then 8 is JJ McCarthy. 9
Carson Beck's not coming out either.
Right. I don't know when this is from. What article?
That's why I don't pay attention to PFF.
No.
Wait. Oh, this is from the 27th. Okay, this is old because they haven't updated this.
This is from
November 27th. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
and they still have Shedeur on that? It's trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't updated it.
I think officially because he hasn't officially said he's going back to school yet. Once he officially says it, he'll probably get removed.
Yeah. Quinn said he's going back too.
Yours also said he's going back. So
and Riley Leonard.
Ryan Leonard's not coming out either. Ryan Leonard just transferred to Notre Dame.
Yep.
All right, this is more updated. This is the 4th. Jalen Milroe, Michael Pratt.
Jalen Milroe's not coming this year.
Why is Carson back? It's on the 4th of December.
I can tell you. Jalen Milroe's not coming out this year.
What website is that?
Pro Football Network.
That is trash too. Jalen Milroe's not coming out this year.
No.
And even if he does, he's not QB1. It's not close.
They had him listed at QB10, so
yeah. Okay, there you go. Okay, let's say he's not close to QB1.
No.
Come on, man.
There's nothing late. That's the latest one. The 4th.
Yo, your 4, 5, and 6 is literally like what Jay always says. What's your flavor? 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6 are McCarthy, Penix, and Bo. What order you put them in is up to you. That is what you want. But like again, people are going to look at McCarthy and be like, okay, he's an athlete, he can throw a good ball, but he needs time to develop, he needs time to learn the NFL system. He plays in the Big Ten, plays for Michigan, understandable, but he also has one of the best O lines of football in front of him, one of, if not the best running back in the college football, and the ball off too, and Blake Corum. Like, there's a lot of things that's going to be JJ McCarthy, like, that's going to get asterisks around him.
Which is why I say with JJ McCarthy, it is all about the combine and those senior games to me. Because if his name is still buzzing after the combine, when they put him in like the little classroom situation and they start to do all of that stuff.
Yeah, Mariucci and all that stuff.
Yes. Then I could be like, all right, somebody's seeing something.
Yeah, somebody's gonna love him. He's athletic as hell, and he throws a good ball.
But that's my thing. All I've been hearing since the summer is that NFL teams are going to like JJ.
I get it. In the underwear Olympics,
that's what I'm saying. But what I'm talking about is because teams get to sit with these guys and they get to do the quarterback evaluations. I'm not even talking. I don't even think JJ's going to work out. I don't know. Okay. He might not. I don't think it's going to matter one way or another. It's not. The only person where the underwear Olympics really matters right now is Penix, just to prove that he can do it. Nobody else really needs to throw that much, or do any of the stuff really, because it's not going to really change what you do. It's all about the interviews right now. So I say all that to say that I think at least, if not 4, 5, 6, then 5, 6 will be there in that range. Our team's going to be comfortable enough taking the 5th or 6th quarterback. If it's their guy, then fine, whatever. What I'm saying is, because of the way contractually quarterbacks are set up, and then we saw this with Lamar too all those years ago when the Ravens traded up to get that 5th-year option to give him time to develop. You looking at a situation is, am I going to take 1 year of Zach Wilson and have to pay him upwards of $25 million after this 1 year? Or am I going to take possibly 4 to 5 years of a young guy that I can put in my system that doesn't have to play right now? 10 times out of 10, I'm going to take that young guy, even if I know that they're less talented right now than Zach Wilson.
I'm taking any of those three and those second 3 guys over Zach Wilson.
Exactly. Like that's just where we are with this right now. Which
there's
is
not a team in the NFL that should and probably will trade for Zach Wilson. There's not a team.
And again,
not upgrading the quarterback room at all.
The only way I could see this being a thing is kind of what the Cowboys did with Trey Lance. Is you take that guy that you're like, hey, I can fix him, but you already have a veteran guy, so he doesn't have to play next year. And then you pay him the money because it's like, all right, whatever. At least I got this guy in my system. Maybe if he likes it here, we can get a discount. Because at the end of the day, no one's going to sign him for starter money right now.
Nobody's.
And anybody who signs him, who extends him, is going to sign him long. He's going to sign him short term anyway. No more than 2 years.
He's not getting He's not getting a big contract. Like,
no, he's not. We know this, which is my biggest thing to like. Is he like, unlike Justin Fields, athletically, he doesn't give you enough to be like, all right, I can deal with the bad arm. I can deal with the bad. It's like Justin Fields has had probably, I would say Justin Fields has had a better career than Zach Wilson, but it's not by much.
Weren't they in the playoff? They were in the playoff hunt last year, right? I believe they were.
Who?
The Bears. Weren't they in the playoff hunt last year? Something like that?
I don't remember right now, bro.
I'll check.
Then again, we were quote unquote in the playoff hunt last year too, so that doesn't really say much of anything. Is what I mean. What I'm saying is, when it comes to this rumor specifically about Minnesota, I'd say Zach Wilson in Minnesota makes sense because at least athletically, he'll give you more than Kirk Cousins does. Kirk Cousins is smart enough where that having Zach Wilson sit with Kirk Cousins, and then you bring in a veteran bridge guy, whoever you think you can win games with, and you have him sit, or Kevin O'Connell maybe is a better coach for him than Saleh or anybody else we have is, and Kevin O'Connell can get the best out of him because Kevin O'Connell is more of an offensive guy. So that's how I'm looking at it. Like, yeah, maybe, but there's also the situation where, say we get to 2022 and all of the quarterbacks they like are gone. And they're like, we really don't love another guy enough to where we're going to spend a second round pick on them. Can we call the Jets and send a 5th rounder for Zach Wilson so that at least we have some kind of young upside? If we choose, get him in our system, and now we have a young quarterback that we can be like, hey, if we like him and he shows well in practice, he can be our guy.
Yeah.
I think
quick,
that is a part of the argument here.
Real quick, Joe, the Bears have not made the playoffs in Justin Fields' career in Chicago.
No, I didn't say they did. I was asking how they do last year.
Oh, last year they were.
What was their record last year? I'm trying to remember.
3-14.
Okay, I was trying to remember what they were.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know about it. I mean, again, I get your point. I don't see anybody trading for him. I think if the Jets let him walk, teams will come around and try to sign him, and maybe you could sit him behind a veteran and just have him learn and everything. That's cool. But Zach Wilson's future in New York is up. I don't see anybody trading for Zach Wilson though, especially the money you're potentially going to have to give him. I don't see it.
Here's my thing. What I've said about this is that you can trade for that contract, and you can renegotiate. You can restructure the contract where he takes less, and you spread that 23 over 2 years. So at least you have 2 years.
Maybe.
Well, if that's something to look at too. And Jay froze again. Say the Vikings do that, and they're like, hey, we'll get you, but restructure your contract for 2 years for the same money. At least you'll give you some time to figure out if we're match. You know what I mean? It's like I said, because of Zach Wilson being a quarterback, being a first round pick, he will have another chance. Where? I don't know. Because how many times have we seen other quarterbacks get chances? What's his name? The UCLA guy.
Who, Rosen?
Yeah, Rosen. How many chances did he get before he was out of the league? I mean,
you guys both got in the dark. What is going on here?
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Okay, there you go.
This guy.
I
don't know.
Moving on. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's because he's a first round quarterback, and the history with first round quarterbacks, they get second chances.
And again, people forget
the Bengals won.
The league consensus on his draft stock on the time he was drafted was that he was the second best quarterback in that draft class.
Mm-hmm.
So you talk to everybody, there's no denying his talent. And we've seen it before. Teams take chances on young guys that are young enough that they can still turn their career around.
Mm-hmm. And he's there.
And again, with certain teams, money gymnastics is a thing.
Yep.
Money gymnastics, like they can stretch that 23 over 3 years if they want, and just void the last 2 years so that he's easier to cut next year. That's what I'm saying. Is that
I get what y'all saying. I just don't see anybody trading for the guy. I just don't see it. That's my main. My only interest.
Do I think that they'll trade for him, say, earlier in the offseason? No. Do I think there may be a draft day trade? Yes, but would it be on day one? No.
I could see a
late day 2 trade or a day 3 trade.
My only thing I can see is after those 6 QBs, I can see to my potential, like you said, maybe day 2, day 3. Because after those 6 quarterbacks go, who are we talking about for QB7 here? And is that then that's the conversation I'm having. Then do you see the QB7 being better than Zach Wilson? Or is it better because you said the money is gonna be less, but then you're not gonna get that 5th year, all other crap. So that's what the point. That's where I want to get to the point. Like, is your QB7 and your QB7? You're thinking it's either Michael Pratt from Tulane, or it's what's his name, Spencer Rattler from South
Right.
Carolina.
Right.
So that's probably your QB7 argument. And is that person better than Zach Wilson? And then those guys aren't going to go. I think Michael Pratt goes before Rattler, but at the point, it's going to be third, fourth round.
Like late day 2, early day 3.
Yeah, I can see Pratt going third, fourth round, but I see Rattler going fourth, fifth. And at that point, it's like, are those guys better than Zach Wilson? That's what I could see.
I agree. Well, that was a really hour-long discussion on one rumor. We need to get to the other ones.
I'll be here for the next 5. So moving on. So it's the third time I've said that. Bill Belichick is supposed to be leaving the Patriots. They talked about this has been weeks in the making, him moving on after last year. So it's two-parter because Paul actually brought this up, saying the rumor for the past 3-4 weeks now has been him potentially going to the Chargers. This is even before Brandon Staley got fired, moving after, obviously he got destroyed by the Raiders. That was the last straw. But the writing was on the wall with Brandon Staley. Everybody knew he was getting fired after this year anyway. They didn't even let him finish the season. But again, this is a two-parter because now it's, do you believe that Bill's going to the Chargers? And the other part about that is Kellen Moore, the OC, turned down the job offer to be the interim head coach. So I guess it's a 3-part, to be honest, because one, do you think Bill's going to the Chargers? 2, who takes over for the Patriots? And 3, what happens to the future of Kellen Moore if this is the case? If Bill comes over, do they retain Kellen, especially since he turned down the head coaching offer?
All right, so let's attack the Bill Belichick first. I think that's the easiest one, right? Like, there's belief to that because of the fact that they're losing. They're probably not even going to make the playoffs right now, and I don't think I don't think he's trying to do it like Jay said, a whole rebuild from scrapyard. I don't think he's ready for that. I think it would make sense for him to go to San Diego. You have the quarterback there. You have the weapons around him. Like, you literally have everything there. You just need to find the head coach that can put it all together. And Belichick could do it. Like, he did. He showed that he could do it in New England. I mean, he wasn't that bad in Cleveland before. So that I could see being a possibility, and that would be interesting to see. Followed up by the Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore not taking that interim job, I don't think would affect him. But I think
it's going to hurt him in the eyes of the owner. Like, you step up first when we needed you.
I don't think so. He's looking out for himself because I think he knows no matter what, he's out of a job. But here's the thing: it's like whoever comes in, if Belichick comes in, I don't think he's gonna clean house. He's gonna clean house. So I think Kellen Moore rather not put himself as a head coach and then show any question marks you might have about his coaching ability on the team. So up front, and then literally, if he was a candidate for 6 jobs, literally come down to maybe 2 because they didn't like some things that he did. To me, it's a smart thing. You keep those questions out there.
Mahomes was fined $50K and Andy Reid was fined $100K.
Okay, I'm back now because y'all were frozen for a hot second for me.
The whole time moving around.
Okay. Here's my thing.
Wait, hold on. What was the other one? Who takes over for the Patriots?
Huh?
Who takes over for the Patriots? Yeah. That's a good question. I don't know. That's a good question. Because we have to see who else goes and who Kraft wants in return as well. If you want another Belichick type coach.
Well, I'm going to speak on that too because I did hear some listening to Dan Jeremiah's podcast. He had someone from the Patriots there who used to work for the Patriots, and there definitely was a name that was rumored based on their experience with the organization that there's already been an heir has already been chosen. There's already an heir apparent.
Bill Bryan?
No.
Bill Sir?
Are you done? Are you done, Paul?
All right, I'm done.
No, I'm done.
Okay. I'll just fish to go a little bit.
So in terms of the Bill Belichick thing, I think there are two places he could go because unfortunately it seems like he signed a longer term contract. So a team would essentially have to trade for Bill Belichick to
even if the Patriots just fire him though.
I don't think they're gonna fire him. I don't think that they would just flat out fire him because I think secret
Tell him to resign.
I mean, I think that they've agreed to mutually part ways, but I don't think that it's going to be like with everything that Bill Belichick has done for that organization and the fact that Robert Kraft is like personal friends with him and there's that relationship, kind of the same thing they did with Tom. I think that Bill signs an extension. So effectively a team would have to trade for him. Like whatever team he chooses to go to would have to trade for him.
Mm-hmm.
I think the front runner and the obvious one would be the Chargers, just because they already have a ready set offense in terms of talent. And that defense, if Bill were to get his hands on that defense, they could be dangerous. Especially with their, they would just have to go and get some corners, and they'd be good. The question would be is who he would take with him. That to me is the ultimate question: is who is he taking with him when he gets traded? The other team that I just thought of sitting here would be the Commanders, because another rumor is that Ron Rivera is on his way out.
Yeah,
and I think that whole staff is going to be in trouble outside of Eric Bieniemy. Now, I think you put Bill Belichick with Eric Bieniemy, you might have some magic there.
I don't think that's what they want. I think we talked about before. I think they want Bieniemy to be their head guy. I just think they didn't want.
And I'm not saying that I'm saying that I believe that wholeheartedly. But I think if they wanted to make a really big power move, they would go and get Belichick, knowing that Belichick doesn't have a lot of time left anyway in terms of coaching in the NFL, because the man's like, 70, 71, 72, something like that. Doesn't have a lot of time. So they would say to Bieniemy, like, hey, just give it another year or two. This will be your team. We need to kind of get the winning culture back into what we're doing. And, once he's gone again, because if they lose again, then it'll be on Belichick. It wouldn't be on Bieniemy. If Bieniemy takes over and they're trash, it's going to fuck Bieniemy.
Well, I mean, that's how many times has Bieniemy already got that? How many head coaching interviews has he gone on? And it's just been like, give this guy another chance. Give him another year.
That's the thing. I think, again,
how long has he sat under the Chiefs and Andy Reid? Like,
again, but here's my biggest thing. Even if I'm Washington, I feel like it's something you have to look at. Because it's like, is the only issue with bringing in Bill Belichick, it's proven he can't hire offensive coordinators. He can't. So you would have to do something about the offensive coordinator.
You don't think Josh McDaniels was good for him?
Real quick, I just found this. So apparently, Belichick's contract is not a multi-year contract. His new contract covered only this year and next year. So basically, it's no impediment whatsoever to owner Robert Kraft firing Belichick today, tomorrow, or after the season. The idea being floated is that the Patriots won't be inclined to fire Belichick during the season, given the possibility that someone else might be willing to give the Patriots compensation in order to secure the contractual rights to Belichick.
So you could trade for him if they don't want to fire him.
Yeah, with only 1 year of future compensation owed to Belichick. Kraft won't think twice about moving on if he decides it's time for a new coach. And if another team doesn't express interest in trying to hire Belichick.
Well, so I mean, again, it's my biggest thing is if Belichick gets a second job, who does he take with him? The conversation that was had was Belichick only wanted to do maybe another year, another 2 years anyway. And internally, he had named Jarrett Mayo his heir apparent.
I mean, I believe that because he's
and Jarrett Mayo is supposedly who's in line to take over because he was a hot candidate this last coaching cycle and he turned down all the things because he said, "Oh, I didn't know enough," or blah 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 blah. To me, that just says there's a promise there. There's a conversation. he's next in line.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of who would take over the Patriots, I believe it's Jerry Mayo.
I wouldn't be. I mean, I saw that at the beginning of this offseason. I totally forgot Jerry Mayo was over there to DC. I believe it's the DC.
Yeah,
I believe it's the DC. Yeah, I believe
he's
that.
either the DC or the
linebackers coach.
Yeah, he's a co-defensive coordinator, senior advisor, linebacker coach.
Yeah, I believe it. He's probably gonna take over if that's the case.
Right.
Well, like you said, I wonder who goes with Bill if he leaves. I wonder if his son goes or if his son stays.
And that's the thing. I think there's a possibility if Bill leaves, Jarrett Mayo may go with Bill, and Bill's just like, hey, I'm only gonna coach another year or so anyway, so I'm gonna put you because again. If you're Jerry Mayo, right, and you go in with Bill Belichick and say he goes to the Chargers, you do a year, and then you take over that Chargers team versus having to rebuild this Patriots team. That's the conversation that you're having at this point.
I mean, if he doesn't step up and take that Patriots head coaching job, someone's gonna hire him the same way they did DeMeco Ryans with the Niners, taking him from there, going to the Texans.
Exactly.
Somebody's gonna take him. Just a side note. I see Calvin. If y'all know if you see Calvin's comments, but yeah, the Bengals beat the Vikings in overtime, but the Bengals just lost a lot of pieces. DJ Reader, DJ Ivy, Jamar Chase, and Alex Kappa all went down to injury.
Oh my gosh,
that was a costly win. Jeez.
Yeah, they got decimated. Sorry, Cal. That's ass. That sucks. That really sucks. Jesus Christ. Shoot, T. Higgins is another interesting one, though. Where's he going to go after this year?
I mean, I'm not even going to the players portion of it yet. I think.
No, I know. I'm not going to open that can of worms because I'm sure we have a long time to go between that. But
again, you also have to look at like what other jobs are going to be open this year for head coaching jobs. Like that is you almost know it's going to be Rivera. Rivera's probably going to go.
So you got the Commanders are going to go. You got the Panthers need a coach.
The Panthers job, which again,
the Raiders. As much as I love AP, I don't think they're going to give him the full-time position.
I think they'll let him interview for it.
Yeah, of course they'll interview for it. But I don't think he's going to.
Raiders, the Chargers.
The Chargers. You got. That's how we're literally waiting for Black Monday because
I'm sure there will be a couple of other.
They're going to let Bill. They're going to Patriots. They're going to let Bill finish. They're going to finish the season. They're going to let Ron finish.
Again, I don't know to me how attractive the Patriots job is. Honestly,
they're a mess because
not even that. Look at what you're following. Look at what you're following. I don't know a lot of coaches that are going to want to step into that shadow with the roster as currently constructed.
I mean, look at us. Look at the Giants. With Tom Coughlin, they pushed Tom Coughlin out of the building,
right?
And then we fired that up. We followed that up with Ben McAdoo, which was a bad hire. We shouldn't have made him the head coach. And then we got Pat Shurmur, bad hire. Was not a head coach material. Then we got Joe Judge, like another bad hire. And now we're on Dable. And Dable's the good hire, but we should have had Dable a while ago. Before him, we were going to hire Sean McDermott when he was the DC for the Bills, and we didn't do it. That should have been the hire a long time ago, but we didn't do it. So I mean,
it
definitely like, who's gonna follow him up, and then like you said, it's a legacy thing. Like you're gonna follow behind this dude and like.
And then on top of all that, yes, they have cap space, but they also have a myriad of holes. They're going to have the number 2 pick more likely than not. So you're probably going to get one of Caleb Williams or Drake May. So you're responsible for the development of that quarterback.
Yeah, of course. My thing with the Patriots is that you look at the Patriots draft history, it's not good.
Because Bill's been making the picks. There's also that. When you let Bill go, you also now have to not only hire a coach, you have to hire a GM.
So you got to hire a GM. You have to hire a GM first. Yes, you have to hire a GM first. And then you got to talk to him and see who he likes. And then you have owner and GM and all that people have to work together and find the coach to go get after that fact. But you got to like their GM, like their drafting history has not been good. like as much as people want to talk about how amazing it was, yes, you have your good picks. You have a Dante Hightower, you had a Gerard Mayo, you had those picks. But remember the year, Jay, when they took Cole Strange in the first round?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
makes sense.
No, even they had even like Isaiah Wynn. They took the left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
He's been out more than he's been in. Like the Patriots draft history as a whole has this past 5-10 years has not been that good.
And again, it's because of the lack of a GM. So I mean, I think there's definitely someone in the front office that they'll elevate to GM. I don't know if they'll have an outside hire, personally. I think they'll definitely elevate from within in that case. But that I think the domino effect of what happens with Bill will kind of tell us how this draft cycle is going to go. Because again, you have the hot guys like Ben Johnson, who's going to be another hot name. You have Jared Mayo, who's going to be another hot name, and I'm sure there are a bunch of other guys that are going to be hot names.
Mike Vrabel.
Ulbrich might get some interviews this cycle.
He's going to get some interviews.
Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if Patriots reach out to Mike Vrabel.
And I also think that the Giants are. I think we're going to lose potentially both of our coordinators, or they're going to at least interview because Wink Martindale has the defense playing really well, and Mike Kafka has been looked at last cycle as a head coach position. So,
and then you still got the other, the old horses that are proven in Dan Quinn with the Cowboys. You still got Kellen Moore.
Oh yeah, and that's the next part. Who is if not Bill? So you have Kellen Moore, who turned down the head coaching position. So, like, my question is, does that look bad or reflect badly to his future there? And then off of that, like, what's that guy? Like, what's he doing? Like, that's my question going forward. Like, you turned down the interim head coaching position. So, like, I don't know how that looks on you as far in the owner's eyes.
I think we don't know enough about why he turned down that job. I think there's a lot of information that is yet to be known in that case, because there could be a very real reason why he's like, nah, if you're going to hire me, like, I want to go through the process. I don't want to just jump in and have to rally around this team and kind of change everything. Or it could just be a situation where he really wasn't rocking with Brandon Staley like that and was just coaching what Brandon Staley said, and what he wants to do is not going to happen overnight. And he doesn't want what, because essentially they would have to just use Brandon Staley's playbook, because they can't change the playbook in the middle of the season.
Nor he might not have the pieces to run the type of offense he actually wants to run.
Exactly. So it could be a situation where he's like, nah, I'm good, because I'm not going to have this be a stain on how I would look as a head coach. Mm-hmm. So I can understand, like, I feel like there's extenuating circumstances there, because to me, it doesn't make any sense unless truly he just doesn't want to be a head coach. Like, that could also be a thing. He just doesn't want to be a head coach.
Could be a thing. He might just want to be like, nah, I'm good with the OC position. Like, I'm good with that.
I'm where I want to be. I'm where I'm comfortable. I don't really want to be the CEO. Like, I'm good with being VP of offense. Thanks.
Yeah, very true. Very true. I mean, like, and that, again, that leans into the whole Commanders part. Like, the Commanders part, like, we were going, again, like, we were just talking about Bill Belichick potentially going to the Chargers. You brought him, which is a good point, to him potentially going to the Commanders. Now, the Commanders are talking about cleaning most of the house. They went out their way to say most of the people are going to be leaving. Mm-hmm. So, my thing is, do you think they really are they paving the way for Bieniemy here?
I think if they can't, I think their plan is for Bieniemy, but I think that they're not committed to Bieniemy. So, like, they can go out and they can see who else is there before making the decision. Because if it's a situation where, like, oh, we can go and get Bill Belichick for a 3rd-round pick, okay, like, I'm good with this. Or we can go and, like, say we like Ben Johnson better and he interviews better than Bieniemy does, we can still go out and get Ben Johnson. or we can go out and get Jared May. Like we can go out and get all of these other guys that we want, which is why they're saying most of. I don't know that they're 100% committed to Bieniemy. Just because, again, new ownership group, do they know Bieniemy that much? They know that he's black and that he's been passed over. They don't know if that's the kind of guy they want running their team. They don't even know what kind of team they want yet. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, it's still too soon to make any of those drastic moves because if everybody's leaving and there's going to be a fresh vision for the team, that means the GM is gone. So whatever the current construction of this team is not what the next construction of this team is going to be. So when you
go ahead.
So the thing, when you figure out from a GM standpoint, what is your roster construction going to look like? Like what is going to be our calling card? Does that match up with what Bieniemy is offering? That's how I'm looking at it.
Can't do away Bobby McCain. That's crazy.
Not to mention in your division, again, you guys are all still trying to catch the Eagles and the Cowboys. So like, does the GM have the like? What is the vision for the GM to counteract playing the Eagles and the Cowboys twice a year? You know, they're still trying to be better than you guys in a lot of ways. You know
Which is crazy.
So,
think about it. As much of a media shitstorm that week as the Giants, we're still better than the Commanders.
Right. So it's a situation where it's like, all right, well, we're the worst in our league and we're in one of the tougher divisions because no matter what the rosters of the division look like, this is always a bloodbath. Like there has not been a year where like, even when the Eagles were winning, they were playing tough in their division. Like every team in that division played them tough. Walk through the division by any means.
So just off topic real quick, but Zach Taylor told reporters it doesn't look good for DJ Reader's knee, and he's likely out for season.
Yeah, I saw a tweet somewhere where it said that he was in pain, and like that doesn't sound good.
He got carted off the field and everything. But even like his head coach Zach Taylor came out and said it doesn't look good. Yeah, Paul, what are you thinking about this whole Commander situation that was at head coach moving forward?
The concern I have is I feel bad for Bieniemy because of the fact, like you guys are saying, they might bring somebody else in and be like, okay, now we're going with Bieniemy. I would be looking at them sideways because it's like, okay, like I was here, so you're telling me I'm like your second, third, fourth, or fifth option for this position. Because if I was your first option, you wouldn't be looking anywhere else. You know what I mean? So if I was Bieniemy, I look at them sideways, and I don't know if he take it because he's like, yo, I've interviewed for so many jobs and got passed up. I finally got one, or he'll just be like, you know what? I don't want it because if I want it, I want you to want me first and not fifth, sixth, or seventh, or whatever it is down the line, or because your number one option didn't pick you, or whatever. So I don't know. They might clean house. Bieniemy might not even be there. Like Jay said, like we don't know what these new owners want at all. Like, first of all, we got to look at the GM. Who's the GM coming in? That's the question because we know this. A GM wants, like just like a coach wants their quarterback, a GM wants their head coach. So a GM might come in and he might not even want Bieniemy.
That's also true. That's something that needs to be considered.
You know, and then you have Joe. You say you guys might get rated for your OCs. The Lions might get rated for both of the coordinators.
Yeah, both their coordinators might be gone. So
yeah,
those are definitely other options to look at.
That would be crazy to me, yo. If the Commanders brought in a new GM, and after one season they fire Eric Bieniemy, that would be bananas to me. Like,
well, I mean, I don't
had to pay the money because you paid up to get him because he's been the OC for the Chiefs for X amount of years now. So you had to pay up to get him to leave a Super Bowl winning team to move to your team, which is one of the worst teams in the league, in a lateral move. He ain't move up. He's still just the OC. So for you to go get him and after one season, new GM, and you fire him, that's crazy to me.
But again, when he went and was got, that was from the old ownership. So nobody
I get it.
In that decision is existing in the organization now. So I feel like you're starting from scratch.
Yeah.
Shit. I don't know.
I feel bad for Bieniemy because
it's a whole world, but like that's the business. Like, at the end of the day, that's the business, man.
Yeah.
I got one name that we haven't mentioned that I think can turn this shit on its head. One name.
College football name?
Mm-hmm.
Can I guess it?
Yeah.
You probably already know.
That guy.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if he decides that he wants to enter into the
Come back.
fray again.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he'll leave. To be honest, I don't see why
he's got it too good, man.
Yeah.
Like, even with all this controversy, like he's still
That's my thing. That's my thing, though. You have been investigated twice this year alone. How many more is it going to take for Michigan to be like, listen, like, you've done amazing for us, or we had your back here and there, blah, blah, X, Y, Z, but you keep getting investigated for shit going left. At what point does the college just be like, yo, gotta cut bait?
Put it this way. If he wins them the national championship this year, they're not gonna care about that. But they're not gonna care about that. That's what I'm saying. If he wins it.
I was like, again, the Alabama Invitational, I don't see them winning it. Again, that's going to be the problem. Like, you can win the Big Ten all you want.
I'm not disagreeing.
All you want.
Yeah.
But you cannot win the big game.
But the thing here is we have to look at it. Okay, so you have that rivalry between Michigan and Ohio State is huge. Like I'm hearing rumors where like Todd Day could get fired because he hasn't beaten Ryan Day.
Potentially he's about to be, yes.
Yeah. So the fact that he's about to lose his job possibly because he's lost to Michigan for 3 years in a row is big.
It's the biggest rivalry in college football.
Yeah, so you have to look at it. So you have to look at it the other side too. Michigan might be like, we ain't win the championship, but we got into the playoffs. But we've also been beating Ohio State for 3 years in a row. So it's like I'm not disagreeing with you, but we have to look at there's a lot of things. We just can't look at the you've been investigated twice.
I get what you're saying, but I guess me personally, if I'm the AD or the president of that school, or whatever, I can't keep hiring you or keep bringing you back. I understand. I'm not gonna say just because you're beating Ohio State, because yes, it is the biggest rivalry in all of college sports. It is one of the biggest rivalries in the world of sports. I mean, this is up here with freaking Real versus Barcelona. Like, this is
Yankees and Red Sox.
Yeah, like, this is one of the biggest. I get it, but I can't hire you. I can't keep bringing you back if you're just beating Ohio State every year. I can't do that. Like, I get it. I get it's the big game. But that's like saying a coach can go 6-6, but as long as you beat Ohio State, I'm gonna keep bringing you back.
Right, and I think that changes if he wins the big one.
If he wins the chip, I get it. But if he doesn't, it raises a lot of questions. You're putting kids in the NFL. Yes, you are. You are a machine for NFL players because Michigan is. But
here's another thing, though.
What else are you doing?
Here's another thing. All right, let's say they don't win the big one, right? And let's say, go with your story, your line of thinking, Joe. They let him interview and let him leave. They don't fire him. They're like, you're gone, just go. Right? It's kind of their way of firing him. Be like, yo, just interview and leave because we're gonna fire you. So just find another job. And they don't win. They don't beat Ohio State. They don't sniff a winning season for the next 3-4 years.
I mean, if Michigan you're talking about?
Yeah. It's gonna get interesting because of the fact that
you're gonna look back and you're gonna kick yourself. Yes, you are. You're definitely gonna kick yourself.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing is like people are gonna ask him, like, why didn't you leave? Like, why didn't you stay? Like look at the team now. He could have been like, look, man, I would have been gone no matter what because they were gonna fire me. So I just left and found me a job. So he could have been like, y'all still would have been screwed because even if I decided to leave, I would have got fired. So y'all in that situation because no matter what was going to happen, I was gone after the 2023 season.
I mean, shoot, look at my Penn State. Look at Penn State. Look at James Franklin. James Franklin's been winning. We won the Big Ten a couple years ago, and then we've been winning bowl games, and they're still talking about firing James Franklin.
But the thing is,
because he can't beat Michigan or Ohio State.
But the thing, Penn State has a history, and Penn State wants what's his name?
Joe Pa.
Joe Pa. They want that again, and they have they're but this is the thing that I always say. The problem in sports today, there is no patience for developing anything, and I feel bad for players and for coaches, especially in college, because they don't have time to develop anything because you need to win now. But they're forgetting Joe Pa, Coach Bowden, coaches like that. They've been there for years, so they were able to create a culture because they were consistently there. If the school wants that, they need to find their coach and stick with him no matter what. It's going to take time to build that culture you want to have.
It's like when y'all tried to kill me because I told y'all Mike Norvell was a good hire. Y'all tried to crucify me. Then.
Definitely wasn't me because I don't know enough.
No. It was me and Benny. It was me and Benny.
It was him and Benny and my
brother.
Say,
don't bring that smoke over here. I ain't.
No.
I told y'all like Mike Norvell is a good hire. Trust me. Trust the process. Yo, Mike Norvell, he came from Memphis. What's Memphis? What did Memphis do? Look at these motherfuckers out here. Y'all got shafted though. I feel bad for y'all. I really do.
It's okay, man. I mean,
y'all got shafted. Y'all gonna be in the SEC. So
the question is,
there's gonna be a 30 for 30 for that. Joe.
It was either the SEC or it's gonna be the Big 45 because it ain't the Big 10 no more. It's like 40 teams in that conference now.
Yeah, because
Last thing I have, real quick, mentioned it earlier before we hopped on, but Teddy B is retiring after this season.
Mm-hmm.
Saw that. I mean, solid stats from the kid. Can't be mad at him.
No. He's also leaving to coach high school, which I think is interesting.
Oh, that's why he's retiring?
Yeah, he said he's leaving to coach high school.
I didn't know I was retiring. All right, that's dope. That's really cool.
I'm like, all right.
I didn't know that part. I just saw he was retiring. I didn't see any explanation in the wire because I was like, he's still young. He's got to be like, what, 30? 31? If that?
Something like that.
Paul, you got anything on him?
Teddy Bridgewater is... Come on. The heck?
He's got to be like...
31.
Yeah, I'm about to say. He's not old.
No, he's not old.
He's got decent. I mean, shoot, that dude's. If you could pick an NFL, if you could pick a backup quarterback to be your, it probably is that guy. Like I would pick him.
Yeah.
Also, you also have to look at where he was, and then that injury happened, and like the entire trajectory of his career was just gone. Because realistically, we just now should be talking about like, oh, is Teddy B gonna leave Minnesota?
Yeah, that's very true.
I mean, he had like two great, like his first year, he had almost 3,000 yards passing with 14 touchdowns. And then the second year, he balled out like 3,200 yards passing with 14 TDs again. And he dropped his interceptions too. So it's like, he was going.
None of us saw that happening. It was a little bit of a freak incident.
It was a freak injury.
In practice, like. It was no way of knowing it was going to happen. It was literally like I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it was worse than Alex Smith or whatever, but it was like an Alex Smith level injury. Like, it was just bad and changed his whole career. I wonder if that's the reason he's retiring, or he's just like, yo, I'm just kind of done and I just want to go do something else. And
I think, I mean, you have to kind of look at it from the standpoint of like, he's never going to get to where he was again. Like, he's always going to be limited in what he is. So it's one of those where it's like, I'm gonna hold the clipboard anyway. I might as well do it in a space where I'm more appreciated. And I think the high school kids love Teddy Bridgewater. Like high school kids, the high school, like that realm, Teddy Bridgewater thrives. So it's like for him to then walk into that space where, you know, now he can kind of, he's learned enough from other head coaches in NFL programs to now take that back to the high school level and train the next generation. I think given the fact that he was just going to be a backup, why not like okay, I'm gonna take less money from a high school, but you built that high
Yeah.
school into a powerhouse. Yeah, like, and then work your way through the ranks that way.
I wonder, like, my thing I'm thinking was like, what was that? I had something I was gonna say about him, but it just off the top of my mind, I can't really think about it. Like you said,
was crazy though.
the injury is really what derailed him. It's crazy. It really is crazy. Like, do you know what? Did it say what high school he's gonna go to coach at?
No, I didn't see what high school he was gonna go to, but I saw that when I saw the rumor drop, it was he's leaving.
I'm sure it's gonna pop up on at some point.
Yeah, but again, he's got 4 more games, so he probably just was like, "Hey, just letting y'all know, I ain't coming back. This has been fun." It's probably in the Florida area because I think he's from Florida.
I don't know where he's from.
He's gonna be a Florida area.
Give me a second. I'll find it.
Yeah,
he's from Miami.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah.
he's a backup from Miami, so he probably has been cultivating that anyway. Had conversations, already kind of been in the coaching thing, and he's just like, all right, this kind of feels better for me anyway. Like, I'm only showing up on Sundays.
Oh, what I was going to say was, now we had this conversation about Zach Wilson. Do you see, could there potentially be a team that Teddy could go to that would start, or at least be competition? Like, what if he went to the Bucs or the Vikings? Go back to the Vikings.
Well, here's the thing, like
over Baker on the Bucs.
Teddy Bridgewater is at this point has become like kind of like Tyrod Taylor. He's your bridge gap quarterback. You know what I mean? He's not like a Zach Wilson. Like we're saying, like you can probably still fix him, mold him, whatever you want. Like yeah, he's not young enough still. So unfortunately, because of the injury that he sustained, he has just been able to be like a bridge gap quarterback, like Tyrod Taylor, in that aspect. You know, like he'll give you 1 year, 2 years. He's best suited for a backup. He'll give you good games here and there till your starter comes back. But to cornerstone quarterback, unfortunately, nah. Now, if they were to have Teddy Bridgewater there to mentor Kyle Trask, okay, I see it. I could see it.
Like it'll be interesting. That's interesting. I'm happy that you told me that though. I didn't know he was retiring to go coach a high school football team. That's cool.
I'm looking at the article right now, but Bleacher Report wants to be dumb and not load. So
yeah, I'm looking at one. It says it might be. They're saying it might be. It seems coincidental. What seems coincidental is Bridgewater's alma mater, Miami Northwestern, has a head coaching vacancy after parting ways with Michael Lee Harris after just 1 season.
There you go.
Miami Northwestern. Okay.
Yeah.
That's Teddy B's high school he said he went to?
Yeah, that's his alma mater.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. That's cool. He's going back home. I dig that. I definitely appreciate that. All right.
And the city, they named the football field. The city of Miami Gardens honored Bridgewater by naming the football field at Bunchy Park, Teddy Bridgewater Field, for all of his accomplishments and giving back to the community.
Yeah. That's a story.
Yo, this can't be real. This can't be real, bro. Jake Browning got a text message after the game. He's being drug tested after the win against the Vikings.
Yeah, I can see that.
Why? Wait, what? For what?
Let's look at the stats, see what he did.
He's got to show up between 9:30 and 12.
I mean, that boy just balled for me in fantasy. I'll tell you that much. 324 and 2 touchdowns. I'll take it.
Would they get you 12 points?
324 yards, 2 touchdowns.
It depends on what league. If it's another league, it's going to give me about 175 points. So
I'm talking about our league.
Yeah, we're gonna. Me and Joe are gonna fix those points after the season's over. We're gonna.
Oh no, Jake Browning, bro, hit 300 yards passing. It's like 80 points. What are you talking about?
In our league, that's 3 points.
Yeah. Huh?
No. The receiver points is all messed up. The quarterback points are solid.
Dick Browning, the QB, bro. He's like
I know that's the joke. That's the joke, though, Joe, because all our points are skewed at this point. Nobody scores points.
Like quarterbacks score points.
The quarterback score points.
Yeah, it's just when I change some of the stats, it resets the receiver points.
But I don't have him in our league. I have him in the
okay.
So he's only got. I think he got like 32.
That's wow. Easton Stick has 70 points. That's wicked.
Well, here's the worst part. I have Addison.
This is why you're out of focus. Look at you. You're out of focus, ass. Yeah. Look at Nick Mullins, 303 and 2 touchdowns.
The heck?
He had 2 interceptions too, but still.
Yeah, he only had 53 in our league.
Only 53.
I'm still
out of quarterback. Nigga,
yeah, you're right.
Stick got 70 points.
That's like
shut up.
Oh my gosh. Dang. Ty Chandler had 132 and a touchdown.
There it is.
He had 30 in our league. So
and Jordan Addison had 111 and 2.
Bro, I left him on my bench and he gave me 43 in my big league.
Ooh.
Jordan Addison. I started deep. Wait, you gotta understand. My receivers are deep, so it's always hard for me to figure out who to start. I got Garrett Wilson, I got DK Metcalf, Devontae Smith, Jordan Addison, and Tyler Boyd.
I'm starting him over Garrett Wilson. Did
you play Tyler Boyd?
No.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I'll reach through this streaming app real quick.
No, I was gonna start him over DK because DK only gave me 17 last week because he got himself thrown out, but because he was also annoyed because he only got the looks in the first quarter when he got like 17 points. I was like, all right, you need points, and that's all he gave me.
Let me see what Jake Browning just did for me. Jake Browning gave me 25, and I got Evan McPherson as my kicker. He gave me 9. I'm kind of missing on Deontay Johnson though. I don't start Deontay Johnson, but Deontay already has 7 points, and they're in they just started the second quarter. He has 1 reception for 4 yards and a touchdown. 1 reception for 4 yards and a touchdown. Ugh, kind of missed on Deontay. He scares me because the quarterback play with the freaking Steelers, man.
Yeah.
Why am I losing? Oh, this guy played Devontae Adams, Austin Eckler. The Pittsburgh defense has 14 points. What the hell?
Darius Slay he got knee surgery.
Yeah, he has me out. We got our last topic. Al Michaels removed from NFL playoffs. Taylor Swift reasons? Jay, the floor is yours.
Listen, the way I kind of see this is not my opinion. This is just fact. Taylor Swift is a money mover, plain and simple. It's been proven multiple times this year. So her showing up increased, I believe the number was like 210% or something.
My man had the link ready.
Like she increased Travis Kelce's jersey sales by 210%. She doubled his jersey sales off a rumor before they even were confirmed to be dating at that point, just by showing up. You know, her tour single-handedly helped global GDP stay above water because it got people out spending money again. So as much as from a football standpoint, I get it, nothing he said was wrong. Nothing he said was wrong. And it's actually borderline disrespectful that they even made this move on someone like Al Michaels. It's not like he said anything outlandish. He just said, keep the main thing, and don't make it about Travis Kelce. It's just, as football fans, I can understand it, but from like a money standpoint, like the NFL, the last thing the NFL wants to do is to make it so that Taylor Swift doesn't want to show up to games anymore, because then that's actually losing them money. So
Right.
it's kind of a cost benefit thing where it's like, would you rather lose money because Al Michaels isn't on the show, so like you're paying him to do nothing, or would you rather lose the money and the revenue that Taylor Swift brings in with her and all her fans and her fan base, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? The choice is really simple. I don't like the choice. I don't agree with the choice, but the choice is simple. It's a money move. Not to mention he's kind of an old white guy, and when they give opinions these days, I mean, let's keep it real. When they give opinions these days, it's time to get put out the pasture, my boy. Like,
pasture. Come on, dude.
I mean, at the end of the day, like the NFL is about entertainment. Am I wrong?
Yeah, but remember, in the words of Roger Goodell, the product is on the field.
If the product was on the field, my boy, if you keep talking about that on the field, then they wouldn't be pushing all of these sponsorships and focused on putting all this stuff on, like putting all the sponsorships on the field, the Super Bowl commercials, the jersey sales, all of that stuff would not be as big of a deal as they are. At the end of the day, what makes the most money? Is it the product?
Here's the thing. You have when it comes
because they're a bad team. There are really bad teams that still make a crap ton of money. So it's not the product is on the field, because let's face it, this year statistically there's been 10 rookie quarterbacks, 15 quarterback changes in this year alone. A litany. If the product was on the field, the NFL would have put way more pressure on MetLife to change their grass or change.
Here's the thing: we have to separate certain things. Okay, so when it comes to revenue, we have to think about revenue sharing. So no matter what happens, the sorry ass team wherever is going to make the same as the high selling team. They literally had $12 billion in national revenue that they split between all 32.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at that these owners, they want the sponsors, they want all that money coming in because of the fact that more money coming in, more money for everybody. And you got people that literally, you got teams that like, okay, I have to spend more in order to get some myself back, because if I'm Dallas, I'm like, okay, I have to make $8 billion just to get $2 billion back, because $6 billion has to be split between these other 4 teams that ain't making no money. You know what I mean? So it's like in regards to the field and that stuff, the thing is, this is the way I look at it when I tell people. The way NFL does things, it's who's next up. So they don't care about the players as much as they say they do. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not disagreeing. They would have, if the product was on the field, they would have fixed the turf. They would have outlawed turf. They would have made everything grass. They come out with all these stats. Well, it's the same. It doesn't matter. No, man. Grass is playing on grass is not as dangerous as playing on turf. They don't care about players as they say they do. They have to do things because of the fact they're the biggest sports in the country. So a lot of the eyes are set on them. Remember when the Vikings lineman, what's his name, died because of
Corey Stringer.
Yeah, Corey Stringer died. How many changes was made because of that heat stroke stuff? It was a lot that was put in there. But yet CTE, nothing being done. Because if you do anything for CTE, there's a lot. The game won't ever be the same. Ever.
It proves that.
Well, I mean, I can't say they haven't done nothing for CTE. They outlawed the head hits. You can barely hit guys now. Over the last 5 years, they've essentially phased out the big hit. To the point, offense and defense at this point.
Yo, Jake Browning got hit hard today, and I thought I was waiting for a flag to be thrown, because he tried to scramble for his life, and he turned around, and Danielle Hunter kind of almost picked him up and spiked him into the ground, but it wasn't like him just doing it maliciously, but it was like I'm trying to hit you, and you turn around, you kind of jumped, so he just kind of caught him and threw him into the ground, and I was full on waiting for 15 to come up, and it didn't happen. I was really surprised today, but
I think it's because if that was Joe Burrow, that would have been a flag.
I think we keep thinking like, well, not that we keep thinking, but it's crazy how they're saying like the NFL in a couple of years is going to be like a flag league, like at this rate. NFL's going to be an 11-on-11 flag league, like
yeah.
Like
Because think about it, now Goodell wants to ban the tush push. He wants to ban the hip drop tackle,
and
it's like, well, what do you want? What do you want guys to do at this point? You're outlawing everything that made football, so they've had to come up with new and creative ways to be effective. And you keep putting
the hip tackle. I can see why, because Jordan Travis' leg was broken on hip tackle.
How are you expected to tackle somebody from behind?
How
are you supposed to not? Like if you're behind the play, you're supposed to just let him go. Oh, he's past me. That's it.
No.
Behind you just stops.
The hip tackle I'm looking at is the same one that got Jordan Travis knocked out. You know what I mean?
Right. What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? Because again, we're looking at an NFL where almost every quarterback is mobile. There's not like the old NFL where they got hit and they went down. So
see, here's the thing. It's one thing if I'm tackling from
everything to do with the quarterbacks themselves. They're trying to keep plays alive and they're getting themselves hurt.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. One thing is I tackle you from behind and I go and grab you and I'm like spearing you. Another thing is if I'm grabbing you, holding you by the hip and pulling you to my side while you're still running. So then now like your legs are tangled up and then crack, something breaks.
Again,
just like the horse collar.
You have
just like the horse collar
that are running through these tackles. What are these defensive linemen are supposed to do?
But it's not just quarterbacks, so it could happen to anybody though.
I said you have players that are running through contact. What are these other players supposed to do?
If you're a defender from behind and the running back runs past you, how do you want me to tackle you? How do you want me to tackle you? Because if you're telling me I can't hip drop tackle you, it's a 15-yard penalty. What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to dive and grab your ankle and hope I catch it? That's the only way I can attack you from behind. No, I'm going to dive. I'm going to wrap my arms around your hips and roll. We literally teach wrap and roll. That's a textbook basic tackling drill. Wrap and roll.
That's
so if
different.
I'm rolling you,
it's not different.
No.
This is that Roger Goodell shit that you
No.
It's not different.
What I'm looking at is different. No, what I'm looking at is different. Because if you look at the hip tackle that was done to Jordan Travis was different. Is not what Joe is saying. Joe is saying tackle from behind and I roll, right? Grab you and roll, correct, Joe?
Yes.
Okay. The hip tackle that broke Jordan Travis's foot, the guy literally grabbed it from the side and leaned in, literally cutting his legs from under him. And because he was still moving, now I'm out of focus again. His legs got caught up, and that's what caused the fracture.
But again,
those are two different types of tackles.
But again, the concept is the same because at the end of the day, now you have more mobile quarterbacks who are trying to move through these tackles and who are getting hit and trying to make plays out of the tackle for defensive players to effectively play defense. How are they supposed to tackle? Are you going to make a rule where as soon as you get past the quarterback, you are no longer eligible to tackle them?
Right.
That's what it's going to turn into.
And I get it. But this is the unfortunate thing that happens when you have athletes that have become faster and stronger. You know what I mean?
This is the unfortunate thing that happens when you have people and you have business owners who are trying to do everything to protect their assets, taking away from the product.
I can agree with you, but if that was the case, we'll go back to like what you said in regards to the turf fields.
This is my question.
Again, like it's what can you control versus what you can't control. At the end of the day, this rule is to protect quarterbacks and no one else.
My question in all this, and again, no matter what anybody says, if I'm a defender and the person, whether it's the quarterback, the running back, or the receiver, whoever else on offense runs past me, how do you want me to tackle from behind? That's the answer I want.
Not to mention, you also taking into account that there's a very good chance that the defensive tackle or defensive player is being blocked, pushed, moved, or by another player. So not only are they contending with the person that they're tackling, they're also having to deal with an offensive lineman, a running back, or a tight end, chopping them off, putting them in precarious situations. They're also not being protected.
But chopping a defender at the knees, but a running back running at a D tackle and diving at his knee to chop block him is okay. That's perfectly fine.
So segue that into the tush push getting banned.
That doesn't make sense. That makes zero sense to me.
Because you have to think about this. Now you have linemen literally going straight forward and pretty much taking the defensive lineman down by the knees just so they can't get back up.
What else are they supposed to do? Like
I'm just saying because hold on. Because you're bringing up, well, you have these guys coming at you, taking out your knees, and what are they supposed to do? But then now it's like, okay, we're gonna tush push. It's the same thing, but now it's like, okay, like somebody's got to give, man. You can't be upset and try and figure out what the defensive players are gonna do when you have.
I honestly completely missed what you said. Like,
okay, so you guys are saying like, okay, what is the defensive player supposed to do?
Right.
And tackling when you have linemen coming in, taking out their knees, right? And now, in regards to the tush push, that's like the same thing. You have offensive linemen, big, over 300-pound guys, coming straight at linemen, literally probably taking their knees out because that you got to get low, right? For this tush push, you got to get low to push forward.
The old linemen don't really cut though.
They're not going. Are they going forward? Aren't they leaning forward?
It's a zero split. It's a zero split O line, so they're not really cutting all of you though. They're just they're all locking up zero split, so there's no way of you penetrating between it, and they're all pushing, but all they're doing is pushing to a point. So if you have center, if guard center guard, they're locking up and they're going at that one D tackle or those that nose tackle nose, or guard or tackle nose tackle. So either they're going 1-on-1 or they're trying to go 2-on-1. They're going to lean towards that one side of the line that's better, but they're not actually just. It's not just guard center guard, just cut blocking. They're not doing that. Not all the time, at least, but most of the time they're locking up in a zero split, and so it's just harder to penetrate through. They're stepping with their inside foot. They're putting shoulder to shoulder, so you can't squeeze through that, and they're blowing you up. All they need is that one center guard to win, and that quarterback is reading it and going that way. And then the people behind him are pushing him. But now if you're on the defensive side of that, it's you just can't get blown up. If you're a nose guard, the job of a nose guard is to eat the double team. So if you can't eat that double team, you're not an effective nose guard. You have to double team.
Okay, now in regards to that, the only thing I see that is I see it being the same as college football. You cannot push an offensive player forward.
All right.
Because remember that one, was it USC Texas? When USC Reggie so college has that rule. Yeah. Reggie pushed Matt Liner.
Liner.
For the winning touchdown. I think it was, or go ahead.
No, it wasn't a winning touchdown. The Texas won that game.
Sorry, yeah, for a go ahead touchdown. Sorry. So I can see why the push is being saying no to, but in regards to that play, I don't. You're taking away something that one team is doing that nobody else has the balls to do. It's not fair.
I think it's stupid because it's literally QB sneak.
It is.
It's literally QB sneak, and that's been in the game forever. So I think both.
And again, I don't understand Roger Goodell's reasoning. I don't understand Roger Goodell's reasoning and why specifically he's on a mission to ban the tush push. And I'm like, of all the things you should be on a mission to ban, that's not one of them.
What's his reason for it?
Because people are getting caught up in the wash of that and getting hurt as a result. Like, that's what it is. People are like, because again, if a D tackle or a nose loses, they get fallen on by the center, the guard, potentially another guard, the quarterback, a running back. Like, you're getting fallen on by 5-6 people if you lose your battle So he's trying to protect the players, but quarterback seats have been around since like pretty much the inception probably of the league or some type of form of football. If it's 4th and 1, we're lining up in goal line and we're just my O line versus your D line. Who's gonna win? Who's got bigger balls? Like that's football at its purest, as simple as form. Yeah. So to me, it's like if you're banning the tush push. To me, you're literally saying you're banning quarterback sneaks, or you're banning the people behind me being able to aid me. So it's literally going to just be O line versus O line and QB trying to push. And if that's the case, then you're going to have linebackers or whoever else trying to go over the top and hit that QB,
which is going to make it worse.
Right, because then QB is going to start getting hurt, which is going to affect product and affect money, and then he's going to probably we're going to I don't know, they're going to do something else. Linebackers can't jump over the top to try to top.
Didn't they do something like that? The players can't jump over other players. I think something like that.
They can't. It's like launching or whatever. It's mostly more. It's like goal line. Yes, I think extra points and stuff like that. Mostly though, like because it'll be like leaping or whatever. It's like you can't push off of the long snapper and the guard next to him. Try to like push yourself over them to try to get over it and block a field goal or something like that.
Yeah.
Or
the Trey Polamalu rule.
Yeah, pretty much. Like it's all stuff like that. But like they try to use stuff like that for leaping, but I don't know. I think both rules are stupid. Like the Eagles literally just found something that they figured out that was hard for teams to figure out, and now teams figure it out. Nick Bosa commented on it a couple weeks ago after the Niners destroyed the Eagles. They were over here just like it's just a delayed QB draw or delayed QB sneak. The line's gonna push. Jalen's gonna wait. He's going to see where the weaker part of the O line or D line is, and he's going to run that way. It's just delayed. But he was like, but once you get him, if your D line's better, once he sees that there's no advantage to be taken, it's easier to stop. Eagles have a better O line than most, though. Like Nick Bosa was breaking it down a couple of weeks ago. It's the same thing when he broke down Jalen Hurts' whole game. He's like the whole thing. He's like that's his whole game. That's Jalen Hurts' whole game. He sits here and he goes back in the gun or pistol or whatever it is. He snaps the ball, and especially on QB draws and stuff like that. He's like, you can't open up big run lanes for him. That's what he looks for every play. It's built into their offense. They're gonna snap the ball. He's gonna drop back. He's gonna look. He's gonna look down the field. And he's gonna read run lanes. If he sees the big run lane, he's athletic enough to get through that run lane, and you can't arm tackle him. That's his whole game. So if you can,
he's not small.
No, if you can keep Hurts in the box, you can beat him. That's his whole game. It's the same thing with the tush push. He's going to sit here, and if I can find a weak link in your D line, I'm going to exploit it. But if you can't find a weak link, you can't exploit it.
Yeah, I was gonna say something. Forgot now what it was. Shit. Oh yeah, Nick Sirianni was doing that way before he was at the Eagles too. He did it in Indy. I saw somebody was pushing it. He got the idea while he was in Indy. That's where he was before, right? I think.
I don't know. I've never heard of the guy before the Eagles.
Yeah.
I just don't like his face. It's very punchable.
No, he's annoying. He's very annoying.
You know what really is annoying? Freaking Dak's pre-snap.
Here we go.
I don't know where he got that from.
So here we go.
Oh my god. I don't know where like
I'm gonna record that and I'm gonna send it to you every time. Here we go.
Oh my gosh. That thing is so annoying. Just like I already don't watch Cowboys games, but I definitely can't watch Cowboys games now just because of that. Like
I'd rather watch that than listen to Tony Romo.
When the Cowboys are on defense, I'm fine. But when you sit up here on offense and before every snap, he makes every little pre-adjustment. He puts this guy in motion, goes, here we go. I'm just like, bro, like, will you do every play? He does. Up. Like, and it's every play. Just this season, he's never done it before. He's never done it his whole time in the league. Just now, every play is here we go, here we go. I'm like, bro, shut up.
Yeah, he said there was some. He said,
what happened to Red 18, Black 12? Like, what happened to that?
I gotta find it,
bro. Shut up.
It feels so personal, bro.
I gotta find it. But I heard from the interview or something like that. There's a reason why he does it. And I think it's for his linemen. I just can't
you
remember
give them
what
a
it
heads
was.
up as where we're about to go. I get it, but you had to make it as annoying as possible.
I mean, you got Omaha from Peyton Manning when he made it. Omaha.
It was funny though. It was like Omaha. It was just weird. Like that was funny. All right,
I would change that shit. Like if I was going to, I'd be doing like some weird stuff, like just changing shit like on the fly. Robotech. If we're going on the fly, Robotech. If we're going like down the middle, it'll be like something like I don't know, whatever. Like
Honestly, if I'm the Chiefs, I'm honestly putting every single Taylor Swift, the titles of every single Taylor Swift song in my offense. Like folklore.
Oh my god.
Ready?
I don't even know the title of a Taylor Swift song to be able to.
That's the only one I got.
I can't name you a Taylor Swift song. I mean, I've heard her music before. It's good, but like, I can't sit here and be like, yeah.
I kind of equate Taylor Swift music to like if I go and get like a grilled chicken salad.
All I know is that the 2 women or 3 women, I would say, that in music.
Did we even talk about Al Michaels? Oh yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah, we did. The only thing I know is that 3 women you don't want to date because they're probably going to write a song about you after a breakup. Taylor Swift. Damn it, what's her name?
You should have came into this more prepared.
No, I can't remember her name. Adele. And our beloved Mary J. Blige. If you're gonna date them, you better be careful because if you once that breakup happens, there's gonna be a song about you.
And I'm gonna be dancing to the song. That like I'm
I'll probably be adding that Adele song to my Spotify that day.
On TikTok, like
yo,
what is it about me?
I'm probably adding that Adele song to my Spotify playlist that day too. Right?
I'm walking down the car like, yo, bro, she wrote this about me. And it's the worst thing in the world. I don't give a damn.
I'm gonna sue her for royalties too.
Like, inspirational, conceptual royalties.
Yeah, I'm saying she mentioned number 84. I need that. Like I need that.
Yeah, nah, swing that this way, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody knew that we was dating. Come on now.
Wait, I forgot Shakira now too. At that list,
Shakira needs to try to stay out of jail. She can't be talking to me about it.
Shakira drop a diss track to PK after they broke up. What the hell?
You ain't know? Oh, Joe, bro, she put a whole diss track on there. He's like, I knew about you.
All right, can we talk about that off the podcast?
Yeah, we're done. We're not about to start in 11. We're not about to start in 11 today. Anyway, Jesus Christ. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for sticking with us in our craziness. It's been just about 2 hours, so we got to get out of here. Like, comment, subscribe, support the channel. Greatly appreciate it. Pushing for 5,000 Facebook followers. We are actually, I think we just hit 4,900. So 100 left to 5,000. So if you haven't already, check us out. Facebook, Instagram. Instagram is nowhere near 5,000.
No,
but that's okay. Facebook, like I said, follow us. Like,
Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all these sports market. You see it. It's coming across the screen right now. All at that handle.
All that good stuff. The push for 5,000. I'm trying to be crazy and fight for 5,000 before the new year is out, and that's about 15 days. I'm trying to get another 100 people to like that page in 15 days. So if you 2 people that are watching right now know who you are, I'm calling you 2 out because you see me talking to you right now. You 2 watching, you see me talking to you. Go on Facebook, like Sportsmark Analyst. Subscribe to us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. I get notifications. And TikTok. That too. If I get notifications, so if you subscribe on YouTube, I will see a new follower has popped up. So go subscribe. That's the end of my rant. Y'all have a good Saturday. Enjoy yourselves. Till the next one, we're out. Good night.